Back in a controversial move, the centre has notified new land laws for Jammu and Kashmir and for Ladakh. Outsiders can now buy non-agricultural land in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Before the abrogation of Article 370, no outsider was allowed to do this. Political parties in Jammu and Kashmir have hit out at the centre.
A major controversy after the centre notified land laws for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, allowing outsiders to buy non-agricultural land in both union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. A united opposition termed it a decision to disempower people where their land is up for grabs. Jammu and Kashmir's Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha rejected the criticism. He said that land rights to outsiders is only about industrial areas for development and investment in Jammu and Kashmir.
तो एक बात मैं बहुत जोर देकर और जिम्मेदारी से कह रहा हूं कि कृषि भूमि जो है वो किसानों के लिए आरक्षित रखी गई है, कोई इसमें बाहरी नहीं आने वाला। जो इंडस्ट्रियल एरियाज हम आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं, जरूर हम चाहते हैं कि यहाँ भी देश के अन्य राज्यों की तरह यहाँ भी अच्छी इंडस्ट्री आवे।
Omar Abdullah said, not correct. And another former Chief Minister, Mehbooba Mufti, called for the people across Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh to unite.
If you read the order, which I have done, even agricultural land is not sufficiently protected. Government can make changes and government can change the ownership of agricultural land. Jammu and Kashmir's economy has not suffered because of 370. The fact that this land ownership law has been announced for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh within days of the Leh Hill Development Council election, which BJP won, I think they were waiting for that result, because this will be an extremely unpopular move in that territory.
For almost 100 years, no outsider could purchase and own land in Jammu and Kashmir after Maharaja introduced state subject law in 1927. That all has changed today after centre notified land laws in Jammu and Kashmir a year after abrogation of Article 370. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.
All right, so this is a move which many in the opposition in Jammu and Kashmir have completely hit out against. Joining us now, Hasnain Masoodi of the National Conference, Wahidur Rahman of the PDP, Brigadier Arun Gupta of the BJP, and Vijayta Singh is the Deputy Editor of the Hindu, tracks Jammu and Kashmir very, very closely indeed. Let me come to you first, Brigadier Gupta. The question is this. Omar Abdullah, in fact, said that several states have protections when he was speaking specifically about Himachal Pradesh, where there are rules in place which ensure that you cannot just go and acquire land. Why is it that land can now be available to outsiders in Jammu and Kashmir without any protection?
Yeah, I'm Arun Gupta here.
Sorry, Mr. Arun Gupta, go ahead, yes.
Yeah, such small correction. You know, we in Jammu and Kashmir have been going out all over the country and buying lands and houses. I think one nation, one law should be permitted here also. People if they want to come and buy something here, they should be allowed to do that. I mean, how anybody can be stopped from doing that once nobody stops us? And moreover, if the today order has to be seen in totality, agriculture land has not been touched at all. It is only meant for the locals. They can sell or buy something. It's only the industrial land or non-commercial lands where they want development to happen, industries to happen, where they want some big institutions to come. And the government has to also has a law which they want to give to somebody for settling up larger things, maybe educational institutions, hospitals, healthcare and all.
Okay, let me get a reaction. Wahidur Rahman, the basic point over here is that most states do allow this. Why not Jammu and Kashmir? How would you respond?
Well, this order validates our fears, insecurities and the gripping challenges that Kashmir is suffering. And there is a constant fear of, that government of India wants to change the demography, and the BJP as a political party wants to change, uproot the Muslim. Our institutions have been erased. Our democracy has been demolished, and that clearly tells you, because we were a Muslim majority region, so like BJP wants to disenfranchise Muslims in the rest of the India, they started it from Kashmir. That's the whole reason. There is a pattern in which everything is happening in Jammu and Kashmir state today. You see an absence of democracy, absence of politics, that leaders were detained. After that abrogation happened, everything, that decisions which they are talking about, it's not about bringing people and investment here. People can invest in Kashmir before 2019 also. There was a lease order already issued by the J&K government, where 99 years lease was already applicable. Airtel is investing here, Jio is investing here, Reliance is investing here, Bharat Petroleum is investing here. MNCs are already here, very much here. So this campaign which BJP is building at the timing and the very timing of this order is when Bihar is undergoing elections. Every election you want to win from Kashmir, you have to do something. 370, 35. Everything is linked with the domestic politics.
Let me take that across to Mr. Gupta. 1 second, let me get a response. Mr. Gupta, the basic point is, and this is yet another effort to change the identity of Kashmir. Is that what the goal here is?
No, how have we been able to change the identity of rest of the country? We have gone in every part of the country. Have we been able to change the identity of any place? This kind of supposition of my friend here is not sustainable at all. Why don't we want the economy to grow? Why don't we want things to grow?
I don't think anybody is saying that the economy shouldn't grow. The point that is being made is that this is a continuation of a series of steps which have been taken after 370 was taken away with the effort of changing the core identity of Jammu and Kashmir. That's what this is about, isn't it?
Why are we so particular about the identity of one place? Why are we not particular about core identity of the country? Why are we talking particularly about Jammu and Kashmir? It's not correct. When we are living in a country, we are part of the country, we have to talk in the terms of the country. One nation, one law, one constitution. Simple.
Okay. Straight. Mr. Masoodi, respond to that. Jammu and Kashmir, part of India, there is only one India, and therefore what's wrong with this?
You have to understand, Jammu and Kashmir was an independent sovereign state on 15th August 1947. We joined Union of India under a covenant and an agreement. And it was agreed upon that all over the state sovereignty clause will be respected, and it was followed by 1952 Delhi Agreement. Delhi Agreement approved by the Parliament of India. The domicile rights or land rights are, as you rightly said, were introduced by Maharaja in 1927. And interestingly, it was after there was a big campaign in Jammu, spearheaded by Mr. Nanda, and in Kashmir by Kashmiri Pandits, that land rights of Jammu and Kashmir, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, should be respected. And it's from 1927. It found mention in 1952 Delhi Agreement, and it was agreed upon that this will be respected. Now, when we say that it's a huge betrayal, we say that you ignore the commitments made by you. Then now see, the 5th August decisions are already before Supreme Court. The Reorganization Act, which is in exercise whereof this new order has been made,
yes,
is under judicial scrutiny. Is it unethical and unconstitutional to introduce such an order?
Okay, one moment. I just want to.
You have to meet the challenge that is before the Supreme Court.
Sure. I want to bring Vijeta in for a moment.
As said by Umar Abdullah, is not the only state.
Sure.
You just secreted an agreement with Bodos in April 2020.
Okay, 1 second, sir. Vijeta is saying one of the points which have been mentioned over here, and a lot of people say that this is problematic, is the role of the army over here in the acquisition of land. That an army officer apparently has the rights to notify land for usage. Just 1 second, sir. One second, Mr. Masoodi. I want to ask my other panelists also. 1 second, sir. Maybe you can't hear me.
Acquire land there. Yeah. So how come that in case
one minute, sir. Can you bring down his? I think he's lost his listening to me. I want to go across. To Vijeta. The issue over here of an army officer notifying land for usage. Could you tell us a little bit about how this is deeply problematic in Jammu and Kashmir? The argument being raised is that why can't civilians be doing this?
So there have been a bunch of amendments that have been made through a notification by MHA today, and we must not forget that J&K has been under central rule since June 2018, when first time the governor's rule was imposed. And after the revocation of special status of the state, and when it was made into a union territory last year, the government, the Ministry of Home Affairs, the J&K Reorganization Act clearly says that within a year they have to either repeal or amend whatever central laws or state laws within a year of the reorganization of the state, which happens to be October 31st. That's why this flurry of notifications which are coming. But the point is, land is a very emotive issue. Land is a very emotive issue,
Yes.
be it J&K or be it any other part of the country. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead, you're on air.
So,
Yes.
the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, he has also said on the floor of the Parliament that statehood of J&K will be restored. So, and there is a process of delimitation going on. A committee has been set up. So, couldn't the centre couldn't they wait for a legislature, J&K legislature, to be formed and to be set up and to be elected, to be in place to bring such laws, and rather than arbitrarily notifying these laws without any public consultation, without there are no public representatives who have given their opinion or who have given their suggestions on the changes being made to such an important issue. So couldn't the centre would have waited,
All right.
or maybe they could have got like more stakeholders and more people
Sure.
on
So
board,
let me take that
even
across to Mr.
consulted-
Gupta.
Yeah.
Mr. Gupta, at this stage, we've had the major political leaders just recently out of, not jail, but they were certainly in custody for an extended period of time. Could they not have been consulted, number one? And number two, the question of army officers now being allowed to notify land for usage, shouldn't it be a civilian one way or the other?
No, you see, as far as the army is concerned, please understand this state has a lot of issues and being surrounded by so many hostile forces. So, I mean, there are a lot of things which are strategic-based things and which probably should be dealt that way only. But as far as this, our friends, what we are referring to, those who have just come out and they're, talking on these issues, I think nothing much they have to talk, because overall, one thing you really have to appreciate, Vishnu, that all over the Jammu and Kashmir, especially in Kashmir, people are very, very happy. If you look at the way they have appreciated and they have welcomed all these things, and in fact, that Article 370 and all
All right.
people are very.
Wahidur Rahman disagrees with you on that. Would you like to respond to that? Because we've seen other remarks as well that, look, there is now a sense of normalcy. We've heard senior army commanders say that, we've gone beyond that stage of indifference, that people have now accepted what has happened. And that's what Mr. Gupta is also suggesting.
Vishnu, that is a-
Wahidur Rahman,
Vishnu,
go ahead.
the fact.
Kashmir has been in a constant state of mourning from last 1 year. People are sad and they're suffocated with the lies that are peddling on the national media by the BJP as a political party which claims to be that Kashmiris are happy. This government promised to the whole of India that abrogation of 370 will integrate Kashmir. Are Kashmiris integrated today? If we are really integrated, why do you need to bulldoze the state, erode all institutions and bring all these laws? So this government promised development. Has there any development? Has there been any sign of even development? Everything is for optics. They are selling Kashmir to the rest of their political constituency, whether it is Bihar, whether it is Maharashtra, whether it was Haryana or Uttarakhand.
Right.
Everywhere this government talks about 370, 35A, और हम लोगों को बोलते हैं आप 370 पे बात मत करिए, लेकिन जहां मुल्क में विकास नहीं होता, जीडीपी की हालत खराब है, इकोनॉमी की हालत खराब है, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के इश्यूज आप देखिए कैसे चल रहे हैं, जो LAC पे टेंशन से, हर चीज का प्रॉब्लम का इनका
All right, so the basic point
जवाब
being that
होता है,
nothing has
response
really
होता है, वो
changed
कश्मीर
in the
होता है,
last 1 year.
370
Many
होता है,
political
35
parties in Jammu and Kashmir believe that this is the last straw. But the question is this: will there be more discussion at all? Will the political process be resumed on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir, and when? I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us.